It is officially January, which means another year has passed and my channel is still irrelevant. However, my New Year's resolution might change that because I vowed to try new things. And by doing this, I hope to become a better person and perhaps have a better channel. There's a whole spectrum of stuff out there that I just haven't tried. Like leaving the house, wiping while sitting down, making eye contact during a conversation, and of course playing a anime themed MMO. And I know that sounds like an odd one to throw out there, but this is a MMO channel and I like to play a variety of games. And it just so happens that the guys behind Blue Protocol Star Resonance reached out to me and offered me a sponsor. All they ask is that in my video I give a honest review and I tell you all about Season 2, which is landing this January. So if you want to hear a middle-aged man's opinion about a anime MMO which they've never played before, well, you've come to the right channel. So without further delay, let me tell you about my time playing Alright, let's get this show on the road. Let me guess, she's a 13,000-year-old demigod. So to kick it off, there's 3 body types and 2 genders. No, I'm not being political, that's just the selection that you have. I feel like because it is anime, I have to go a female character. Being a bald fat white man, I think I'd be breaking the law if I didn't pretend to be a woman online. They do have preset characters if you are less artistic than your other MMO friends. And you can customize your character's hair, jawline, nose hole, and teeth. I wanted to give my character a teardrop tattoo to assert dominance and let people know I'm from the streets, but the best I could do was a pink heart. You can also do some finer tuning like their height, their voice. And then finally, I had to choose my character's class. Now, there are 8 different ones to choose from, each with its own unique set of moves. Coming into this game, I had no prior knowledge, so I didn't know which class would be best for me. So I figured go for the coolest looking one and avoid being a cringe healer or bard, you know, or a tank. God, they're cringe. So I picked a Stormblade because what is cooler than lightning? But anyway, on to the main plot. Which, by the way, I did pay attention to, so I can talk to it a bit. However, I'm going to try and keep this video spoiler free as possible. So after swimming into some purple goo, you wake up in a strange bedroom and you don't have that many clothes on. You do, however, have a ruddy big sword. So I feel vulnerable, but still kind of safe. You then find a letter on the nightstand addressed to you. In it, it states there's some new clothes set out for you, your old clothes, I think they binned them basically, and that you should go find them downstairs in the bar. Oh, and they drew a self-portrait of themselves, so you know who to look for. Yeah, I'm not sure if this outfit is my style. You head downstairs and you see a small girl drinking at the bar, and my initial thoughts were
16? At a push 17? 16?
I then go on to find out that the girl at the bar actually rents the room upstairs, so if she's old enough to sign a legal contract, I'm pretty sure she can drink at a bar. She then goes on to tell me how she rescued me from goblins who were going to eat me. We then go on to find out that I've lost all my memories, which to be honest is a good way to start a game. No memory whatsoever and start afresh. But it's not just me with problems. Erona here has a large debt that she needs to pay, and if she doesn't, well, she's going to have to find somewhere else to rent. I never thought I'd have so much in common with an anime girl. That's the basic intro to the main story questline. I am now officially in the game in my shared MMO world. And I'm excited. I decided to let Ariana Grande give me a tour of the city. You get it?
Right, yeah, of course.
And I have to say, it didn't disappoint. Apparently, Ariana's idea of a good time is violence. Ariana then signs me up to fight some purple demon thing. I'm pretty sure it's just a man in a mascot outfit.
Oh, hi, Mark.
But I'm told to go full firepower, which is exactly what I do, taking inspiration from my hero Deontay Wilder. I'm pretty sure there was not enough padding in that outfit. For legal reasons, that man is not dead. But let's not get too sidetracked. This was an opportunity to find out what the combat was like, and I have to say, as far as first impressions go, I liked it. It was very fluid, it was very action combat like, and your moves even had cooldowns, so you couldn't just keep spamming the most powerful move that you have. My bravery was rewarded with a new item of clothing, and that's because I was first on the leaderboard, baby, for knocking the shit out of a mascot. We were then introduced to this annoying character, and no, I'm not talking about the cat. I sure hope nothing bad happens to him. Rip Bozo. I joke, he's fine. Whilst trying on my snazzy new glasses that I earned, I couldn't help but browse some of the outfits that you can unlock in game. So far, I had gotten 2 rewards and they'd both been fashion items, and I think that's the key thing about this game. Fashion is actually endgame, but more on that a bit later on. We go on a mission outside the town because there's been a disturbance with guests trying to arrive at the festival. Apparently some goblins have been creating quite the brouhaha, and me and my companion here are going outside to sort them out, when all of a sudden we run into a snowman. You can tell shit's about to go down. Luckily it's a friendly snowman, and furthermore it's not actually a snowman, it's just a girl in a mascot outfit. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can unlock the outfit and wear it on your character. We then took on the leader of the goblins, who's been causing all the ruckus. Has to be said, pretty easy. But we'll let him off, as it was after all a tutorial mission. But hey, so far, so good. So what exactly is there to do in a gacha MMO, you might be wondering? Well, I know I was, because I've never played one before. It has all the usual MMO systems like questing, crafting, a complex skills tree, and most importantly, fishing. The golden rule is you can't call yourself a MMO unless you have fishing, or what if you're in space? With the exception being you're playing a space-themed MMO. For my first couple of hours, I focused on the main story questline. It seemed to be the most effective way of leveling up, and the enemies also scaled to my level. And I found out pretty early on that if you go outside your range in the overland, that could be quite punishing. Yeah, fuck this shit, I'm running away. So when I wasn't doing the main story questline, I focused on some social events. And what makes these particularly social is that there's only certain times a day that you can take part in them, which in turn makes it more exclusive, which then makes it more likely people will join because they don't want to miss out.
What the hell is even that?
And these events can range from dance parties to racing, popping balloons, and my favourite, red light, green light. And I sucked at all of them. It's worth pointing out they don't have PvP in game, although technically the way that red light, green light went down, it felt very PvP focused. But the MMO elements don't stop there. There's world bosses, there's dungeons, you can create and join guilds, and there's even a homestead option. So colour me impressed because honestly I was taken back by how many activities you can go and do. And with the Season 2 update, they're going to keep adding to this. And here's a rundown of what you can expect to see from the new update. There will be a new region unlocked. This new area will have new monsters and new things to explore, and also carry on the story from Season 1. Which, by the way, I completed. That's how much of the game I actually played. There's also going to be 6 new dungeons and 3 new raids, and some new social events. The homestead system is also getting an update. You will now be able to invite friends over and host multiple parties. And just in general, there's going to be quality of life updates. And even the classes have been adjusted. They're now more balanced. And they'll also be adding a feature for new players that if they want to skip to level 60, they have the option to. Which honestly, I don't know why you do this. It's like skipping the main course and going straight to dessert. But anyway, that's enough yapping on Season 2. Let's go take a look at how the endgame experience looked. So what exactly does endgame look like in an anime-style gacha MMO? Some might say it's gear unlocks, getting new titles, unlocking stuff for your homestead. Others might say fashion. The max rank you can get to is level 60, however, there is so much more to it. All of your skills and abilities can be upgraded to make them more powerful. Your gear can be upgraded to make it more powerful, and you can keep adding skill points to, you guessed it, make yourself more powerful. And to do this, you're going to need the right materials to do so, which can be acquired either through the in-game store or by unlocking different achievements. Now, it's important to note the in-game store does take in-game currency, and also there's a premium currency you can buy. And most importantly, Blue Protocol Star Resonance is actually free to play. And if you've played any free-to-play MMOs, you kind of know what to expect from the monetization, and Blue Protocol really isn't that different. But essentially, there's a lot of stuff to unlock in order to level up, and it can be a bit of a grind, which is an MMO, you kind of expect it. There is, however, a auto attack feature, so you can, in theory, just walk away from your desk and let your character go and kill mobs. Now, it is worth noting that the XP drop from mobs isn't enough for you to AFK the game to level 60. I mean, you could, it's just not worth it. It's quicker to do the main story questline. This feature does come in handy when you're doing the monster hunt, which basically you get rewarded for killing a certain number of mobs, and it usually goes up in increments of 10, 50, and 200. But don't expect it to be able to just completely carry you, because I've come back and realized I'm dead. This feature is actually really useful if you need to go to the bathroom or you just want to go make a coffee. I would say dungeons is the main part of endgame because they do give you good loot drops, and then the more times you do the dungeon, the more achievements you can get, and there is a difficulty scale on this. But it does help to have a good group of friends to carry you in the dungeon, otherwise you are stuck with bots. Killing world bosses is also a good way to get rare loot, and if you actually look at the parties feature, you can actually see like people grouping up to go and do this as a squad. So you don't have to try and solo a world boss, you can play with other random people, and some might say this is the true MMO experience, playing with other players. But listen, there's no getting away from it. Fashion is endgame, and different fashion items can be unlocked in different ways. It could be by getting a particular achievement, or it could be by getting lucky on the gacha machine. The gacha mechanic is ironically called wish, because obviously you wish you get the item that you want, but it's a gamble, and you don't have to use the premium currency, you can use the in-game currency. And it's not just fashion items that drop, you can also get rare loot and mounts, and on top of that, it's all seasonal, so it does change throughout the year. Realistically, the fashion in this game doesn't actually affect the game itself, it is very much cosmetic. And furthermore, not all this stuff is actually bound to your character, you can trade it in the in-game store. So if you really wanted to, you could ignore the gacha mechanics completely and just pretend it doesn't exist. But that's enough yapping about endgame, let's go look at my final thoughts. So I'm going to break this review down in a very simple way and just talk about my likes and dislikes. So the first thing I was impressed with was the combat. It just flows really well and has like an arcadey feel about it, whilst also having the MMO principles of having cooldowns and ultimates. It's actually a shame this game doesn't have PvP because of how good the combat actually is. The social events are actually a lot of fun, and I think it does a really good job of making this game feel more like an MMO. In this day and age, a lot of MMOs do feel very solo, grindy, and not very interactive, but by having these little quirky events, it really does bring the community together. And on top of that, they make grouping really easy. The fact that you can just apply to a party in the zone chat, or just go to the actual party hub and join in from there, and obviously guilds as well. It just makes it all very easy to be social. I think the art style was very visually pleasing. I know it's an anime, so it's going to be like a particular style, but graphically it was really impressive. It was actually better looking than, I don't know, say UE5 MMOs that have just recently gone into early access. The detail that had gone into the main town, and even like the lens flares and god rays, just really impressive. I know to some people this would be more of an annoyance, but to me, I love collecting stuff. I like having goals that I need to go to achieve, and I like it being like a certain grindiness to it. The fact is, if I get bored of one thing, there's about 10 other things I can go do instead. So the fact that it does have so much to go and collect is a positive for me. Now, this isn't going to appeal to everyone, and even I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I felt like the game had a nice cozy feel about it. Sometimes when you want some downtime, you don't want to be killing stuff all the time. Sometimes you do just want to go and race on your mount, or just go exploring and do jump puzzles. And I feel like this game really does have two sides to it. Yes, there's the complex combat with bosses which are actually quite well designed. And then there's also dance parties, fishing. But hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's talk about some of the things I don't like about this game. So yes, on the one hand, it's cozy, but on the other hand, there is no PvP. The most PvP you're going to get is, like I said, a bit of trolling in red light, green light, all racing. Which is a shame because, as I said, the combat is really good. So something that really annoyed me was that every time I was doing the main story quest line, I'd be in like the central city hub, see other players, and then the minute I go to do the main story, they all disappear. And that's not necessarily like the worst thing in the world, I get it, some people like to play solo, but the whole point in playing an MMO is to see other people, and it would have been nice just to keep them in, especially when you're traveling overground between like different checkpoints. I don't know, I just feel like this took me at the MMO experience from time to time. This might be stupid and silly to some people, but to me, it just got really annoying, which was when you like got an achievement, or maybe your gear could be leveled up, or a skill point got added on, you got like a little orange notification on the tab that you can go to do that action. And after a while, it's just so much orange like lighting up in your face, and it really just got a bit annoying, to be honest. And sometimes you couldn't clear them off because it'd be like, oh, you can upgrade your gear. But I didn't have the materials, and that orange light would still be there to say, go upgrade it, but I couldn't. When it comes to MMOs, I'm used to killing mobs in order to level up. Sometimes you just do it a bit on the side just to get that little bit extra of XP, and other times it's just something that you just veg out and do. However, it was a complete waste of time when trying to do it in Blue Protocol. You get more XP from doing the main story questline and other quests and activities than you would do from sitting there and grinding mobs. In terms of the monetization, I feel like it's a fair model. It's a free-to-play game, and a lot of stuff in the cash store is pretty much either convenience or fashion, so I'm not against that. But what I didn't enjoy was the different currencies and trying to figure out which ones I could buy and which ones I could earn. And this wasn't even done in a predatory way because a lot of the currencies were earnable in-game. It's just that there's like 6 different ones to choose from, and you got to figure out which one correlates to what events and what activities. A part of me understands the different currencies because you give different value to different events, but it just honestly got very confusing. Overall though, there's a lot of positives and not too many negatives, so I would say it's definitely one worth checking out, especially considering the fact that it is free, and if you are into anime, then it's very likely you're going to be into this. And on that bombshell, I'm going to end the video there. If you do want to check the game out for yourself, well, feel free to download it using the link in the description below, and check out Season 2. It looks like it's going to be a promising expansion. And as always, if you've liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see more of me, subscribe, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.